Okay, now I'm getting down to the real nitty-gritty. As many of you know, the 4th of July celebration in Bailey's Harbor is a tradition that reaches back well over 100 years. Even in the beginning years of the town, large crowds and a variety of activities mark the day. And remember, those revelers were probably not even natural-born U.S. citizens. They were probably happy to be here because they immigrated. So when you kind of think of that, I don't know, that makes me feel sentimental somehow. The parades over the years have changed in some ways, reflecting the circumstances and spirit of the times, but in other ways have remained the same. Strongly worded patriotic slogans, floats supporting our troops, or just simply celebrating our freedoms. But you will see lots of changes in how things are decorated when you compare the floats we'll see from the 1930s, like with the ones that we're going to see from, say, the 1970s. It's a world of difference. We're going to toggle back, Christy's going to toggle back and forth between some video that we have, when she gets a little further on in the program, and the still pictures. And we have tons more video that we need to convert to a proper format that we can project and use within a slideshow program. We've gotten, about 2 years done? Is that right, Christy? We've gotten about 2 years done, but we have lots more to do. It's very expensive and it's very time-consuming, but we think it's worth doing, even if it's just so that we can, point and say, "Oh, I remember that, it was so crazy." It's fun. So I hope you'll enjoy this first little item here. Am I correct that that's a horse race down Main Street? It used to be a very popular 4th of July activity. Christy, I'm going to turn it over to you. What?
Well, I think we're going to run this the way we usually do is that we've put all these images together, but obviously we're not an expert, so what would be nice is what we've always done in the past is that the audience tells us their memories or if their float is up there, because that has so much more meaning when it's first person. Betty Anderson very generously pulled out 10 years plus of slides. And so the majority of this show is going to be the 60s. But Chris Shore also brought us a nice collection of the 30s, so I'm hoping that the people who gave us the slides can start by kind of giving us a little background on what they've donated. And I think someone's going to run around with the mic. Is Lynn going to do that this time, or Susie?
This year I will.
This year, that'd be great.
Okay, she's got the hand mic.
I have my running shoes on. I'm having a bad hair day, that's why I have my cap on.
Christy, I think on that first slide,
Here you go.
our great-grandfather.
Here you go. Don't talk until you talk in this, so people can't hear.
Our great-grandfather ran one of the horses in this race
Really?
always. He raced with
Well, he
everybody
doesn't have
around
more than
town.
one
and
ready, so.
He always said they had the fastest horse.
Okay. So that would have been your grandfather McCardle?
Great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather McCardle, okay. Identify yourself. Yes, okay, identify. This is Chris Shore, great-granddaughter of, what was his name? What was your,
James.
okay, that was your grandfather. And your great-grandfather was James also? Okay. Okay, this is the Bailey's Harbor store. Used to belong to Schrammel's, Fakes's, and then it was Bob and Tom's grocery store. When did the grocery store actually close? Does anybody remember? Was it in the 70s? 80s? 90s it went to? Wow. John, that's right. Happy 4th Parade on Main Street, Bailey's Harbor. What year do you think that would be? Look at those cars. Come on, you men that know cars. Lauren Pyle, what is that? What year are those cars? 20s maybe? 30s maybe? Okay. Just look at this with the oxen. And Leanne has an observation on this one. With the oxen.
Oh, I've got my own mic. If you look, I didn't notice this myself. I had a friend up visiting me, and I was showing off my old postcards and such like. And if you look at the fellow leading the oxen, you see him? You notice he's in blackface? And I believe that this picture is from probably, I think it's 1910 or 1911. And if you think about it, 50 years before 1910 was 1860, the beginning of the Civil War. So it would kind of make sense, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
There's another picture that's real similar to this that is the Kangaroo Lake Association, but it's different than this one.
Okay. Around the same time, you think? Okay.
So do we think this was the women's club?
I'm pretty sure, I think so,
right.
because I read an article that Catherine McCardle wrote for the paper, and she named everybody on this float. She said it was the women's club.
That was the other one.
You think so?
But there wasn't a women's club at that point.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Bayless Harbor Women's Club. There we go. Does anybody recognize themselves on that? Youth works ahead of the world of tomorrow. Just look at how elaborate they were in those days.
But look at what they're decorated with.
Yes, greens. It looks like greens.
Yeah, it's evergreens.
Yep. Gibraltar?
That's a
High school
Gibraltar
band.
band.
Wow, yep. That looks like that's got to be in the 30s, don't you think? 36. Is that what it says up there?
Yeah. If
Good
you look-
eyes. I can't see
If you look
that.
up in the corner.
Oh, sure, 1936.
I knew because the dates were on the back of the pictures.
Oh, okay. Are these your pictures, Chris? Oh, wonderful.
I think this is 37 now, this is the next.
It says 37, 38.
Okay, so it's 36, 37, and these people are like 15, 16 years old. How old would they be now? You
That's way too hard to
mathematicians.
do.
80s? Would be in their 80s, wouldn't they? Wow. Oh, Otto Vakes for chairman.
And Chris tells us that on the back of this picture, it says he lost.
Chris, if these are your pictures, I should let you hold this. So you
That's
can
all right,
comment
because I didn't know who they are.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
this is fun. This is Emery Oldenburg. I imagine many people knew him,
Yeah.
or at least some of you. In 1936, riding his horse in the parade. And now, there he is in 1979, riding his horse in the parade.
Oh,
It's a different horse. I think you're right about that. I think you're right.
that'd be an amazing horse, wouldn't it? Wow. Look at that.
Now, I think this had to have been taken from maybe the roof, maybe of Betcher's garage, or it would be like the Nelson Shopping Center South Building. And this is the first time I've ever seen
Look at that.
Brands Field, like except maybe in a big distance shot
Of being a ball field.
of being the ball field, right? This would be where the bank building, the old bank building is, which is now the kayak rental. Right, and that was the ball field for many years.
And is that Lena Betcher's house up there?
No, that is Jack Larson's house.
That's Jack.
And this I know because I was out behind there this morning
Okay.
looking to see how the windows were placed, to see if that was really his house. And then the one just behind, that one is the house I live in, the original little tiny, it was well, mine's still little, but not this little. But it explains something to me architecturally. In my utility room, the ceiling light is way to one side, like almost by the wall, which didn't make sense to me, but now that I see there was a porch back there, before they added on. I get it now.
So what is right up there in that upper right-hand corner?
I don't know.
Do you think it's a schoolhouse?
Yeah, I think it would have to be the schoolhouse.
Yeah, it would have to be. Right, before the addition, okay. Because this too would be a 1930s picture then.
Right, 1937 it says.
Where do you see that, down below? Oh, yeah, down
Way
there.
up in the corner. Oh, and the Carmody store, yeah, that was from Jacksonport.
But it must have been nice having the ball field right in town. You could just go, bingo, there it is.
You know what else is kind of cool in these 1930s pictures? Everybody's dressed up. I mean, like the ladies are all in dresses. The men have sports coats or suit jackets on. Everybody's, you know, it's like a real occasion. It's the Cornerstone, the old fire truck. Yeah,
Is that the truck?
the Katursky brothers still have that. I remember when I was a little girl, that was stored in our service station downtown for a long time. More horses. And that looks like the band behind.
Look at these.
I don't know what this is about.
This was a picture that Betty Anderson gave us.
Betty, do you know any of these people? Do you know any of those people? Wow. Look at that. Is that the Women's Temperance Union? What is that? I wonder if it was those women's club members, maybe? I wonder if it had to be some. Does that look like Elsie Tischler, Jumbo, in the back? Come up here once. I think this is your mother back on that picture. Way in that row, in this row, right, one more up. That one back. Go back to the woman right there. That looks like your mother.
You know, that woman in the plaid dress kind of looks like Gabby Anderson.
Who?
Gabby Anderson, they had Gladys. Her
wonderful
name was
picture.
Gladys. They always called her Gabby, though.
This makes us all realize that we need to label every picture that we have in our collections.
Well, it says on the sign, pulling together 35 years.
Bet you that must have been the women's club, huh?
Okay, well, wait, now, do we know the year of that picture? No.
I found it at the library.
Oh,
Wow.
pulling together 35 years.
Here, just a minute, Marianne. I'm going to give you the microphone because otherwise anybody won't be able to hear you.
The Women's Club was formed in 1910. I've done a history of it. So if this is marked 35 years, that could well be 1945. And at that time, women wore that length in their skirts and dresses. That looks right. But we do have a complete history of the Women's Club.
And isn't this their your anniversary this year? Next year is significant.
This year, we're having a big anniversary, and we had a big dinner the other night, and we will be serving the strawberry shortcake and ice cream on the 4th of July. So we're still going.
Yes. You need new blood, though. We have to get some more members, right? That's a nice.
Now, this, I believe, is one of the most memorable 4th of July celebrations because it was the county centennial. And as my mother told me, at least, I don't really remember because I was pretty small, but it snowed.
I
Am I
remember
correct?
that.
It snowed?
I was up here too. I was up here in front of the theater and it started snowing while we were waiting for my uncle to come out of the tavern. We were all little kids, a car full of kids, and he was sitting in the tavern.
Man. Well, and one of the, that way at the bottom at 2 o'clock, it says Tommy Bartlett presents the Florida Water Ski Thrill Show. And I remember my parents saying, or my mom and somebody saying, how these swimmers, these water skiers and so forth, that they were like purple. They did what they could, and they were absolutely turning purple. It was so cold.
The girls on the parade floats were turning blue. They had
Yeah.
strapless dresses
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You bet. I remember that.
Yeah.
Boy, it looks
There
like we
was
have to go
the
away
usual
to
dance
match
at
that.
Wassabeck's Hall. Veterans organizations are invited to participate. Yeah, I'm just waiting for her to get to the pages with the ads on because these are so funny. You,
Garden Lodge, the rustic resort with a toilet.
what? I don't know. Maybe. But there's no business that doesn't have some silly thing.
Look at this one, Paul's Glass Bar. If your mouth reels like gall, you've been to see Paul.
Or Leon Collins, pop bottle insurance for cross-eyed umpires. Because they were very involved in baseball. Oh, and the Bailey's Harbor Laundry, they have several, and I think these are so funny. This is Bailey's Harbor Laundry, buttons removed, no extra charge.
Isn't that wonderful?
There's another funny one, wait, from Bailey's Harbor Laundry, I'm looking for it. I can't see, maybe it's on the next page.
Here,
Wait,
Christy.
Christy, wait.
Every year they used to publish a poster and then they'd sell advertising. And you used to see them around for the advertising the 4th of July. And I think what happened was this was the gentleman who, at the Lions Club used to always do this, the gentleman who would put those posters together must have decided at a later meeting they were going to put together their own advertising list. And somehow this list got filtered down to my mom's collection of old stuff, and she let me put it up to just let you see that these people obviously had quite a sense of humor about I think it's just cute the way they kind of poke fun at everybody's business.
Yeah, it's really cute. They have Nelson Hardware, specializing in hot points for cold stuff, because Gordy sold hot point appliances, you know. Lake Theater, Drinks on the House, Fountain of Youth, main lobby.
That was a true one. Remember C.P. Johnson Barber
Oh,
Shop?
C.P. Johnson for a close shave, yeah. What does it say? Oh, yeah. Oh, a lot of these are really risque. Oh, and Bentley's Frozen Custard, see Hap and Be Happy, featuring custards and ice creams. His name was Hap Bentley. Gerbman's Hardware, let me wire you hot and cold.
I know, that good one.
Friendly chambermaids.
Yes. What does that say?
Advancement Association.
Yeah, that was what the men's club, I think, called itself for a long, long time.
Does that look like Kenny Zock?
It does look like it is Kenny Zock.
Phil Gordon and George Schmitz.
Look, it rained that 4th of July, didn't it? The water's sitting in the street.
Oh, just a sidelight, Lauren Pyle tells me that it was Phil Gordon and George Schmitz that used to put those posters out, which from whatever I've heard about them over the years, I believe that.
Yeah. Who's on that, driving that horse? Or sulky or whatever? Beautiful.
It's just that when you do that, then you can't read it at all, because it's,
Yeah, because but you can see the people better. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a feet. It'd be hard to tell who that was. That looked like Doug Visti, the one guy on the right. Looked like Doug Visti.
oh, and you know, just to refer to one of our more popular programs last year, on the house there, that was Gordon and Alice Brand's house at that time. You see that little sign hanging there? Tourist rooms. If remember when we were talking about, you know, lodgings and stuff here. And I think I just recognized myself because I think I'm on the porch with my mom and Uncle Gordy and Alice's family.
Oh,
So score.
oh yeah, scores, right. Oh. Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
See if anybody recognizes these people.
It looks like Susie Baldry. Susie and Diane.
To Susie and Diane,
Oh,
for sure.
Susie's the one that served you your brat today, and that's her sister Diane. Susie, how many rolls of toilet paper went into that? one pile.
Looks a lot like Susie Baldry.
Right. That was, look at that butterfly.
And you made those, didn't you, Sue? She made those, did those floats herself.
That was in the AMVETS one at Washington, wasn't it, Everett? They won the national marching at Washington, D.C. And what year was that?
This is 1960.
Okay.
You said Kenny Pyle is the second one on there?
Mm-hmm, he was. Yep, that's Kenny Pyle, yep. 50th anniversary, okay, so this was what year? 1960. Okay, so my goodness, they're 100 and how many years old?
Scouts are 100 years this year.
This year, okay.
There's Verlin Keno, I'm sure. And I think Debbie Vake's a little blonde girl.
Yeah, Debbie Vakes, yep.
And here's Gordy Nelson's children on his float.
There's Gary.
Yeah.
There's Gary Nelson. We should go over and get Gary and tell him to come over here and see a picture of himself. And that's Carol, I think, the little blonde Carol Frickman Nelson. Neil. Yeah. Was that Phyllis, the lady in the white in the sweater?
No, she was just standing there for a
Standing
lot
there,
of the
okay.
parade. Oh my gosh, look, it's Susie Baldry.
This is really your show, Susie. We didn't tell you this, but this is your show.
What I love about this picture is look at all the little ladies up in the window.
Look at the. Okay, Betty, who are those people? Come on, that was Betty Anderson's laundry. Was that your mother or? Oh, okay, Betty Anderson's mother and some friends from Sturgeon Bay in the window.
Who's the little guy? Is that Fred?
Oh. Who is the lady in the car? It looks like Ross Revere's wife.
Oh, sure enough, it is, definitely.
Isn't that who it is? Boy, Schmidt's Gazebos has their sign up in the corner there. I never. Oh, Fred Traven.
Paint Your Haven.
Oh. Lee Traven would have enjoyed seeing that.
When you look at all these pictures, there's always men driving the car. This is the only photo we have of a woman actually driving a float with a hood ornament. And it's my mom. Can you tell us who the rest of the women are?
Here,
Well, the one riding with me is Judy Hain, Judy and Jan Hain twins from Sturgeon Bay. And that's Jerry Niedzwicki is in the back there. And the other one's
Sharon Leinbach?
Oh, Leinbach, yeah. Sharon Leinbach?
Yeah.
And I don't know the one in the blue.
Could that be Cheryl Kurtz? It kind of looks like her.
Could be. I don't really know, to tell you the truth.
Who is the lady in the right passenger seat? Judy Hain?
From Sturgeon Bay.
Oh,
On the
okay,
left-hand
sure.
side of the picture.
And who's the hood ornament?
That's Sharon, or what is her name?
Is that Kelly Betcher?
The one sitting up, yeah, that was Kelly Betcher.
Kelly Betcher is sitting on the hood of the car. That's Bill Betcher's daughter. You probably know Bill.
That was Darlene Larson's boyfriend, Bob Larson's car. Yeah, and I worked in the beauty shop, see there, and so they anybody remember Bob Larson?
Does anybody recognize any of these people?
I'm guessing they're in line for a fish boil.
That's probably, you're right, Christy, but that's what it is. Because they used to always have fish boil, didn't they? That's right.
I guess the 4th of July used to be a tad cooler.
Yes, can you see that, how they're all dressed up? You can see lots of clouds. Well, look at these. Now, we had a Miss July 4th, didn't we? That was a beauty pageant in Valley's Harbor on the 4th. Is that correct?
That's Miss Independence.
Miss Independence, that's right. And who knows any, I know a couple of these girls. Marvel Mikalash and is in the pink, and Sue Jarman from Fish Creek is way on the right. Yep.
And the two girls, the one in the red dress and the one in the green dress, I don't know which is which, but they're the wives of Bill and Leland Tischler.
Oh, okay.
Carol and Betsy Tischler, I'm told.
They weren't from here, were they?
Yeah,
No.
they weren't from around here, so we don't know.
We don't know the locals.
I love the little girls down in front. I mean, just look at them, they're in awe.
Someday I might be Miss Independence, you know?
I think these are the Miss Independents.
Yeah, these are the Miss Independents on these cars. Who would love those cars nowadays, huh?
And that's the cornerstone.
Why you could only park 3 abreast.
Right, right. That's right.
This is an interesting float too. This is the front half, and there's the second half. Okay, which woman do you want to be?
Yeah, I think the Nelsons were advertising the fact that they used to be able to drop your laundry off there, and they would do laundry.
That's right.
I think this is for the outdoor. I'm guessing this is probably the Vakes for either one of their movie venues.
Probably.
And they obviously parked their car like right in the path. It's a case of beer in the trunk. I mean, did anybody take a case of beer to the outdoor?
That's crazy talk, Christy.
And
Never.
a blow-up mattress? I mean, what kind of place was that?
Sands Motel, Carl Jonas. He had that truck for many years.
This is 1962.
Okay, 1962.
That's 50 years ago. Kino's?
That's another Sands Motel, isn't it?
Right, right, yep.
It's really hard, as I'm standing back here, it's really hard to read any words on anything. Except for that.
That is a good one. Is that these are your pictures, Betty, I bet, or not? Yeah? Oh, that's really cool. Oh, young mother a few years ago.
Who are these people?
Yeah, does anyone know?
I have no idea. For a while, I thought that little chubby person on the left was me, because I have a doll buggy just like that. But I went to check it out, and my wheels are different. So
It kind of, you know who it looks like? It looks like Linda Scholes a little bit. Yeah, could be. Yep.
Which one?
The one, right, that one. Oh, yeah. I think motherhood was more important maybe in those days. Yeah, look at this. Look at that wonderful buggy. Gibraltar Marching Band, 1962. It looks a little bit like Sharon Bronowski. Bring her up. Yep, that's Sharon Bronowski. And that looks, the little girl looks like a Herbst, Kenny Herbst's daughter, doesn't it, Susie? Bobby Herbst,
Bobby
that
Herbst,
looks like,
yeah.
yes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But
Who was
just-
the majorette, though, that year? He's a tall person. Linda Lemire. It looks like a Lemire girl. It is a Lemire, I think.
But just, notice here the band is in uniform. And remember the band in the 30s? It looked like everybody just had to get like white pants, wear a tie, and a white shirt, and they were kind of uniform, for the most part. But these were the real thing, and this is like 30 years later. But let me tell you, those uniforms were
Hot.
They were beyond hot. They were like thick wool, like, would you say twill, Julie, or something like that? I mean, they were just the heaviest. You could have walked on New Year's Day down the street in those uniforms. You would have been perfectly fine. But they had to, carry their instruments, and sometimes it was pretty darn hot.
I think the gal on the left up here carrying the flag, that's Susie Highlander.
It is, Susie.
Now, what is that building there? Who can tell us what that building is? Right, what was there? It's kitty corner from Brand's house, right across from Betcher's. What was there? Jumbo, what was that? I can't either. It looks like it was moved there.
I know what it is.
Here.
It's the leather shop. It's been remodeled though. The roof line is basically the same. Where the old post office. Moccasin.
Yeah, it used to be the moccasin shop.
No, yes, who knows?
It's changed.
That's part of the old Anklam Hotel. My dad had it moved there, and Mother had a shop in that building. So, and that building is behind where the Carver is right now. They moved it back there. So that's the same building.
Thank you, Don. None of us knew that.
Well, there's Sharon Keno. And somebody. Is it Jeannie Fairchild, do you think?
Looks like Jeannie.
Okay. Okay.
Does anybody know where the Sky Harbor Airport was?
Right.
It's apartments now on County F.
Bailey's Harbor Women's Club. Life of a better community. Oh, sure. That's right. I remember that truck.
That truck is maybe gonna make the parade this year.
Really? Oh, how wonderful. That's great. Bailey's Harbor Lines. Oh, is that Jumbo driving that
That's-
car?
I think so.
Is it Jumbo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
17.
And who's the cherry blossom queen?
I can't remember.
Come on now.
No, it looks like a girl that lived out in North Bay.
Sonia
It's her name,
Tears?
Sonia Tears.
Sonia Turs.
Yeah.
I remember the car. It was my first car, 1955 Chevy convertible.
Say that again.
1955 convertible. And that night I was going to be smart. I remembered after the parade, I was going to go down to the beach. That was before they had all the big stones down there. And we were going to drive down on the sand, me and another couple, and I buried that thing right up to the axle. I had to get Bernard Betcher to winch me out.
You and another couple, so were you like the chauffeur, or is there somebody that we're not hearing about? Yeah, there might have been somebody else.
It's Laura Fletcher from Sister Bay.
No, I don't think so.
Don't you?
No. That's normally.
Oh, Norma Lee, that is, yes. That's right, it is Norma Lee. Thank you, Bonnie. And the car says Fellhofer Brothers. Sure, that's Norma Lee Carroll. Who is that? I don't know.
Sort of looks like Susie Kepsel, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
The dress looks like Susie Olson's prom dress when she was a junior. I wonder if she borrowed it, this gal. Funny what you remember. Scening fresh fruit. Be Wise Guy Shop. Kepsel's Farm Market. Nan and Jerry's Bait Shop.
Which is kind of interesting, because one of the Kepsel girls married said Jerry of the bait shop. We just saw them last week at a class reunion.
Yeah, Susie married Jerry. They can.
And they still have the bait shop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slate and jeans. Yeah, that was it. The days when it was okay to advertising drinking. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now that is a beautiful float.
It really is.
Look at that flag and that. I wonder who the little boy is up there. Yeah, and how short his pants are.
Well, I'm saying, I'll bet that boy is 14 years old, because that's how all their pants are when they're 14. Oh, look, it's Susie Baldry.
What a rarity. That was pretty. Right. Right. Supermarket. Who was that?
Vake Supermarket.
Fake supermarket.
That's probably when Elton and Laverne Vakes owned it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, could that be Jerry? That could be Jerry Vakes, I'll bet. I'll bet it is.
Sherry Gogger, they say.
Oh, Sherry Gogger? I don't know. Oh, it says Sherry Gogger right on the picture. Okay. Pay attention here.
Bailey. Oh, yes.
Here's from Walter's on blacksmith shop. I always think of it as the blacksmith shop. I guess it's not really, but
Oh, look at that one. What does that say, Christy?
Nelson's Shopping
Oh,
Center.
Nelson's, okay.
Tinfoil, it was big.
Foil, whoa. I'd say. You bet it was. Chief Oshkosh. The last chief of the nominees.
oh,
Nice fish, great
kangaroo.
Well, I wonder who made that float. Was there a Kangaroo Lake Association at that time?
I think they had some kind of an organization over there. I know it's a very old organization. Ah,
Oh, okay. At the
Gordon's
top deck.
Gin.
Gordon's Gin, Gordon Lodge. I wonder if that was Bonnie Gordon on the float.
Maybe. These floats are really amazing, though. This is the 60s?
This is 65.
Yeah. You hardly see stuff like this anymore.
Oh, wow. Look at the mermaid. Wow. Sands Bridal Suite. And Carl Jonas is driving the truck.
We're down to one future mom.
Right? The moms are starting to dissipate, right? Motherhood wasn't apple pie at that time, right? That's right.
Maxwell and
Oh, look
Braze.
at that. Do you know, Chris, who those people are? That one on the right looks like Darlene Peterson. Florida
The
Club.
Club, right?
That must be fluorine up there, huh? Oh, here's the Queens.
Of more Miss Independences.
Now, who are these ladies?
The girl second from the right is Kathy Linden, married to Donnie Ray. Kathy Ray? That's Kathy Ray right there.
The one next to her it really does look like Susie Kepsel.
No.
I don't know.
I was going to say Kathy Kramer, Bonnie. That's who, yep. Anybody else you recognize, Bonnie?
Fred said the one next to her looks like Julie Meyer.
Julie Meyer? I don't know. We'll never know.
There they are in line for the fish well.
Yes. Even they have to get to eat fish.
Get a line.
They have to get in line too.
This is 1965.
Okay, still 1965. something.
Chrissy, could you figure out what this said? I was
We're
even
looking-
standing on my head today, and I just couldn't,
Something is dead in the end of it.
yeah.
Something, something, and is it dead? I don't know.
Would be dead. I don't know. I'm sure there's some humor in there
There
somewhere.
must be some moral to that story. Bailey's Harbor 4-H?
Presents.
Oh,
Bailey's Harbor 4-H presents the future Miss Independence.
he sponsored it maybe.
Oh, no, it's a little girl who's going to be the next Miss Independence.
Oh, well, that's okay. Those are the fish boil people. Well, that's Oswald Columns on the right, isn't it? Isn't this Oswald? Tony Paul. Oh, okay. He used to be the postmaster of Bailey's Harbor. Very active in the Lions. Is that Bill Betcher? Bill and Eunice, his wife, right? Wow. 1966.
I think that's Jeanette Rear, isn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Active service. Can we read the names, Christy? Can you bring that up forward a little bit? Ron Howard. Donald. You read them up.
I think it says Donald Hunnell, David Bergwin, something Johnson, Clyde Johnson, Gardner, Earl Orsted, Robert Terminer? Reimer? Could be. Trainer?
Oh, yeah, Bob Trainer, yes.
William Anderson, Lee Edmonds. Back to the top of the list is Dennis Hickey, Robert Johnson, Florian Koturski, Ronald Gauger, Daniel DeHaas, Marvin Langer, John Lagerquist, Sylvester Seiler. Reserves are Ronald Stieglitz, David Lagerquist, Richard Goss, Richard Peterson, Charles Tischler Jr., William Tischler. And then Jacksonport is David LeClaire, William Madden, John Place, John Bly, Alan Tank. Brought to you by the Kangaroo Lake Association.
That was just before Vietnam broke out. Was it during? Okay. Yeah, 65 would have been Vietnam, wouldn't it? Yeah, 65 would have been Vietnam.
I think that this is Bobby Schultz.
Yep, that is Bobby Scholes. Right. Steve Parent. Anybody recognize any of those little scouts?
If you look off to the left, you can see the old Emmanuel Church before it was torn down.
Paul's Glass Bar. Follow me to Paul's Glass Bar. Oh, Barnowski, Gladys Barnowski, pulling the log. Yeah, tell us about this.
Gladys Barnowski was the first woman we featured at our Women's History Month. So when I came across this picture, I had interviewed her daughter, Nancy. And then when I found this picture, I sent it to Nancy, and she said what they did was Ari, Gladys's husband, skinned the bark off the log, cut a seam, skinned the bark off the log, and then cut the ends off of the log, and then wedged them back in to either end, and then put them on the wheels so they weren't really hauling the heavy log. But what a lot of work. But did you notice that the guys have whips in their hands?
I think the tall one on the right is Mike, their son, Mike
Yep.
Barnowski.
Wife Kathy's there.
Kathy.
Yeah, they had a logging business, and that's what that was about. Gladys Barnowski was one of the first women pilots in Wisconsin. She learned how to fly so she could help Ari after he went to a hunting camp because sometimes he had too much to drink, and she didn't trust him to fly his own plane. So she learned how to fly a plane.
She also was the first one to join the Lions Club, first woman.
Yep. She was quite a... This is Hickey Brothers.
You'll see Jeff dressed as a woman numerous times.
We should have invited them. Is that Jeff up there? Oh my gosh. We have to make sure when we go buy fish at Hickey's Fish Market, tell him you never thought we had such a beautiful body.
There's his backside.
Whoa. Look at that. That is hysterical. I can't believe Jeff was such a cut up.
Their floats were
Amazing.
amazing.
Oh, this is cute. Can you bring it in a little bit? Okay.
I like the foot hanging out the door.
What? I can't read it.
Can anybody read that?
Yeah, I'm trying to see what it says. I don't know, but do you recognize the people at all? I don't think so.
This one says Paul Bunyan drinks.
Paul Bunyan drinks, and what's the bottom part?
Paul Bunyan drinks.
Yeah,
Logging camp.
yeah.
Paul Bunyan drinks at logging camp. Prices.
At Lockingham, Would that have been at the, Blue Ox? Was a Blue Ox in existence at that time?
This is where we go to video. Some of these are from Clayton Mecklenburg and some of them are from Annie Pyle.
Oh,
It's amazing how much time was spent on the floats and how much toilet paper and chicken wire.
look at this too. I mean, look at
Gotta keep it flat down.
Didn't we all love the lion claws? And a good wind.
She's got it down pat. Here we go.
Which band is this?
Southern Door.
Southern Door.
Look how serious the band director is.
Yes.
Christy, these have even been slowed down, haven't they?
Yeah, some of the movies we had to really slow down because they'd only have 2 or 3 seconds of a float. So if you see people moving in slow motion.
The spirit of 76 and 67. Sands Motel. Now look at this. That was quite clever. And just think, that's when the old food, that was Aunt Olson's grocery store behind.
Who are these people?
Wow. Look at that. Whoa. Something beauty shop, Town and Country Beauty Shop. Yeah. That was Jack Jorns? Oh my gosh.
Seriously?
Oh my gosh. Who was in the front, Lauren? Who? Okay. Okay. And what one was this, I wonder? That's a great car. No.
Nice little Mustang standing there.
Oh, look at the spirit of St. Louis. Wow.
What an elaborate.
I know.
I asked Dale Williams if he could give us any pictures or information from the Lions Club, and he said that he would hope to find some pictures that of this particular float because he and Todd Vakes actually built it. And this would have been 1967, so how old would they have been then?
How old is Dale? I don't even know. Is he? Okay. 20s.
Oh, we'll go to the video again. Sorry, this is sort of low tech, but.
More tech than what I would have, so anybody. What does that say? There's the AMVETS again. Did you see how those kids were running right in the middle of the road? They were right in the middle. It's a nightmare when they run to the camp, get the can. Right, exactly, Leon. They like those shell casings. Because I don't think there was much candy thrown in those days, was there? Yeah, look at how, it had to be cold. Just look at those people, how they're dressed. Uh-huh. Fish Creek Civic Club. You know what this is, Chris?
This is the Sands Motel in Ann's Town and Country again.
Very clever.
Annie, was that you?
Well, they're billing down the street. It wasn't easy to be a slave in old Egypt. Okay. Now let's look and see. Is this Gibraltar's band? Yep. Oh, Mr. Sommerfeld.
Felt. Oh my gosh.
Well,
These are all Florian's kids.
I would think, huh? I wish that Joey or Jerry were here. They could probably tell us.
That was the Florida Club before it burned down, right?
That's Linnea Hickey, isn't that on the float? The woman?
Look at the little guys with cigarettes. Where is that? They're like artists and they're holding cigarettes. The one sticking it in his mouth.
That looks like Linnea Hickey. I wonder what it was for. I wonder what this float was for. Oh, remember him? What was his name? Zilke? That was it. That was it. Soule. Gary Soule. Soule.
Does he still do that?
I'm thinking he's dead. Isn't he?
Probably not.
Oh, do you? Who was the one that was for a few years? From Everett. Who was the one that used to come from Sturgeon Bay? He's not here. That's Sturgeon Bay. Isn't it? The black? Or Sevastopol, maybe? Yeah. Think. Clean Brotherhood. What was that about? Didn't get that one.
Must be raining. We have a plastic bag on our head.
Oh, sure. It is raining. Does the shrine still, they still come, don't they? No?
No.
Not anymore? Oh, look at that. What was that supposed to be?
This is one of the Hickey Brothers floats, and we'll see a video of it. I think on a regular basis, they would do a float for Clayton and Jeans, and they were always a crowd pleaser. They supposed to get a snoot full at Clayton and Jeans because they sold liquor.
Nothing subtle about that.
You'll see it in the video.
I remember that car.
Now, what's the story on that car? Did they drive it from the back end or something?
It's Mary Alice Brand on a Arabian.
seems to be a theme here, doesn't there?
Right. Oh, that is funny. Yes, it is hilarious.
Everybody watched for the Hickey Parade, or their float, because it was always amazing.
Wow. So was it Dennis and John and Jeff that worked on these? Oh, sure enough. Is that,
Yes, but they,
right, Hickey's made them, okay. No. You wouldn't see that anymore. Bailey's Harbor Laundry. Did you do these floats, Betty? No, I didn't. You didn't, huh? Okay. Who is, that's Mr. Stieglitz, Art Stieglitz. Oh my goodness. It's hard to read some of these because they go fast and you can't. Zero the Clown. See, he's the one I'm thinking of, Zillish. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ken Zillish, that was his name. Oh, cute. Oh, that's cute.
Go back one, Chris.
Yeah, that other one that you just, is that,
Well, I'll go to that.
okay.
Sure don't taste like tomato juice, Clayton and Jean, at Clayton and Jean's liquor store. And this is McCoy's, something city folks keep out. They really
What is
weren't
it?
very politically correct.
No.
They did.
Yes, they did.
I think they have a still
Like
cooking on the front.
still, right.
This is Ann's Town and Country Beauty Salon. Does anybody recognize?
Is that by any chance Rosemary Tischler up there? Rosemary Tischler, would you please stand up? What? Come on, we want to compare you today and yesterday. Come on. And whose hair were you working on, Rosemary? Oh, Beulah Canton, okay.
There she is from the back. I figured she'd be here, so I thought I didn't want Susie to hog the whole show.
right.
Oh, that's what attracted you, right, Jumbo? You saw her on this float and you thought, there's the woman for me.
I'm guessing this is some political thing.
Mm-hmm. This was during the Vietnam War, and you had your statement-making floats, and yep. These parades are so historical in so many ways. You know, you can affiliate it with the years that what was happening in America at the time.
Bailey's Harbor Feed Mill.
Oh, sure. Wonder who that was. The little kids. Oh, look at those kids. Yeah, there was some bad weather, wasn't there? You could see that. Some of those years were not so nice. Ah, right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
This is a beauty salon. It's Orleans. They have an ugly woman on the front and a beautiful woman on the back.
Oh, oh, sure. That's Al Armada with the yellow shirt? Look at those hairdos.
Watermelon eating contest.
Oh.
Notice there's no crafts out in the front lawn.
That little boy with the blonde hair looks like Kevin Pyle.
No, it's Jeff Katursky.
Oh, that's Jeff Katursky? Oh. Where's Kelly? Oh, sure enough.
Or Katursky, what did I say? Yeah. Katursky. Looks like Dean Lagerquist.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the other Katursky boy standing to the side, right there?
Here?
No, above him.
Above, I don't know.
That tall one in the middle looks almost like Brian Yalmain.
This one?
Yes. Mary Ann Pyle's
It
son.
does, yes, it does look like Brian. Yeah.
Spike horn.
Oh, that was that pretty one that used to have that windmill.
That was my dad's, Rolly Pyle's.
Excuse me, I got my phones right.
Is that Paul on there? Paul Herbst on there?
Is it Paul? Who is it?
Or Bobby?
Maybe it was Bobby Herbst. No.
No, it's the little guy.
There's the Yeti. Remember the Yeti hunts they used to have?
The snowmobile club?
Yep.
Oh, this is another Hickey Brothers. You'll see a video of this one too, and talk about dangerous. This is probably a car body or a trailer, and something's pulling it, but we don't have an image of it, but it's supposed to be an airplane. And the sign says, see if we can roll in on it. Something or bust. Right here, something or bust. Clayton's champagne something. Then there's this must be first class up here maybe. I don't know, but. And that's Jeff Hickey on the front.
Oh.
We'll see it
Je-
This is a previous year, but.
Oh, look at that, stirring the old pot.
Yep. The man dressed as a woman again.
People should do a nostalgic 4th of July, so these guys come out.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Do we know what that one is? Does anybody know what that one is?
Mm-mm.
I think this is the judge coming after him.
Oh. Oh.
That looks like something Phil Gordon
Yeah.
might have done. It's Rosemary.
And, right? Who is that? Oh.
Kangaroo Lake baby. Looked like a kangaroo lake pouch.
That must have been Joe Parents' fault, because he sold larded cats.
Okay. But yeah. Look at chickens. Would be nice if somehow on the 4th of July, when people are in here eating their strawberry sundaes, that we could maybe have Idas going or something. So wouldn't it be fun for people to come in here for the women's? Wouldn't it be nice for people coming to Bailey's Harbor on the 4th to have a continuous, rotation? People might see themselves, remember some of those old parades?
Chief Oshkosh, look who's driving.
Who is that? Florian Katursky and Betty. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Yes.
I think
Is there
that's,
still all that ivy on the building, Betty, on the laundry building? Is that ivy still there all the time? Growing up the sides? That's so beautiful.
that's Judy Katursky.
Is that Judy Katursky?
Judy and one of their brothers.
Oh, sure. It's Jerry or Joey, isn't
Yeah.
it? Mm-hmm. It's not John, I don't think, is it, Jumbo? Doesn't
He was
look like-
smaller, I think.
He was
wasn't
smaller. He
Yeah.
was, that's one of the twins. No, and you know what that looks like? That looks like Janice Orsted is who it looks like.
No, it's Judy, because we.
Is it really?
Yeah.
She was never that heavy, I thought.
Well, I went to high school with her.
Okay. No, maybe not. Maybe it's just, she was always really thin.
This is Gladys Bernowski and her sister and her daughter Sharon.
Oh, look at that.
What goes around comes around. Isn't that an electric car?
Wash your duds. Anybody know who any of those people are? Betty, do you know who those are? No, okay. Nice looking man, boy. Whew.
We love those on
Look at those
Indians.
legs.
If you look in the background, the cornerstone really hasn't changed, has it?
Nope.
I know this seems like a repeat, but it's a different year.
How dare they run some of the same floats 2 years in a row? Mm-hmm. Well, when you put the work into them, it's kind of nice. You can use them for a couple years because they're very labor intensive. They look like.
Does anybody want to tell us about, I mean, from what I know, the Snowmobile Club used to hide that somewhere along the trail years ago, and then it was, I don't know if it was a fundraiser or just an event that people would go out and then try to find it. And it was a big day-long event that I think was held out at the airport.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
People all shrugged up.
I know. You can tell there were some cool temperatures on some of these 4th of July. Okay. Good grief, the work.
And then they're dragging a power pole and a case of
I mean, good grief. Isn't that amazing? Truly amazing.
Which one of these Hickey brothers was the instigator?
I can't, right. I didn't realize that. That's pretty.
This is the one that my husband and I built for the town the year of the celebration.
Oh my gosh. How many hours went into that?
Again, lots of toilet paper and
Night,
paint.
that was, well, see, this was our bicentennial year, so that was a
Yes.
special, year. Everybody had huge parades. That was beautiful.
And I wasn't on it either.
Wonder who that man is. Liberty. Yeah. Can you bring him in? What year did the Bluff people start marching? Oh, the Bluff people? Okay, this way you were in the bicentennial. Oh, look at that.
And then it spun.
Yes.
Yeah, all the presidents. That is something.
This is just a clip about the Israel the clown.
And that was one we did for my dad called Birth of a Nation. And it was a big stork and it carried the flag, I think, out of its beak.
Oh, that's nice. The war. Booze for the needy. You are what you eat. I think the Bluff people can speak to their parades.
Well, there's one girl over there holding two glasses that you probably know. And then that's Hans up there. There's, let's see, it's Ken Mackey, isn't it, Bill? Yeah. And Herman. And I can't make out the gal behind. I think we had the nurses, Mary Kay and Kay, were taking care of the sick people along the way who are with us too. Oh, there we are. We're getting ready. This was Old Blue. And we were getting this ready for our first aid run. Right, guys? Yeah. I think Old Blue, dropped it off at the neighborhood junkyard but it had a good life. Now, gee, look at yeah, the clown. And that's me with all the hair. Look at that. How did that happen? Yeah. Don't have that anymore. That's Dick Harker in the back. Yeah.
I like the cheesy stash.
And we picked up the poor clown was hurting, so he's getting medical care right now. And this German crazy doctor, he's helping him out there. Thank you.
There you are again.
Okay, this was 76, and we were actually having quite a battle here. This was in the red, that's the Red Crows, that's the British, and we were firing this German-invented cannon we had here at the Americans on the other side, and every so often people would get shot, they'd fall down. Well, sometimes they fell down when they weren't supposed to fall down. And our kids were always very involved, and even at that age, they were always part of our parade. And of course, we had some playing here, but these were made, actually the gals, who was that, Bill, that made those outfits for us here? But they had put these together with these hats, and they made up these red coats, and then what we're doing, we're wearing long underwear. That was the white. We were wearing long underwear, and then we were a pretty spiffy group, as you can tell. We were pretty spit and polish there. And that was our better side, probably from the back side. But you can see in front then the one with the blue cannon. That was the Americans, and this was the British. But had an awful lot of fun. That's why we wanted to be sure and come and see this tonight.
Well, and tell us about your group. I mean, you were known as the Bluffers.
Well, we were known as the Bluffers. We were up off of Bluff Road, and there was at one time eight of us up there. Yeah. And we still have actually two Bluffers left. We got Dick Hawker, and I see Bob Link hiding out in the back. So we still have two Bluffers left, but the rest of us have. I think we were thrown out of Bailey's Harbor, so we had to leave or something like that. So that was our little village up there. Of course, Kenny Muller and my brother Bill and Hans. We had quite an international group, actually. We had one German and two Dutchmen up there, Herman Jansen and Ben Schmidt and Hans Orchard, which we had another name for him, didn't we? But we won't say that.
Did you tell the people that came after you that they had to be in the 4th of July parade after that? Oh, here's another one.
Okay, well, this was during the Nixon Watergate affair, and you can recognize some of these names: Dean, Hallerman, and these are actually some of our kids here too. And then we had a guillotine, and we had our priest, and then you can see we also had some deputy sheriffs that were bringing people up, but we had the different names on, and then. We bring us up, and Hans, I believe, was one of our people. And these are, like I said, it was fun. We also had our kids involved in it too. So, and this was another one we had. This was, of course, Bash was a playoff of MASH with the B instead of the M, and we're getting ready to make our run. And again, this is some of the kids. I think is that like Susie is one of those kids, or maybe. And I think, is that Sandy over there? This one back here? Sandy Muller? And we're getting ready for our, and that was probably, I think, maybe our most fun. We all dug up old fatigues and made ourselves in a different, now there we are. See, I still got more hair. We had this still going, and there's some of the kids over here. Troy Link, I believe, is the one I see in the back there. And I don't know somebody's wiped out by the smoke coming out of but so it was like Hawkeye and BJ and all that we had. But we had a lot of fun. It was great. It was a good time. We had it back of the flatbed here.
Did the steel reel work?
No.
No?
It still work.
The still? No,
I think there was plenty of beer on it.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was our backup cooler in the back, you can tell, so.
I wanted to say that the Bluffers sent us videos also, but we had just had so many images and so much video that we're gonna save it, because it's really, you can see them with the operating table, and it's really well put together. So that'll be in a year or two.
I got to point this out because that's my daughter, Chris, holding Becky's son, Bobby, at the time. So you get an idea of the difference in age. My daughter's coming in from Cleveland for the parade. They come up just about every year if they can. That's how much it means to them. But that's my daughter, Chris, sir.
Thank you.
It's wonderful because that's what happens here. You pass that love of the 4th of July on to the other generations, and they keep coming back now. Mm-hmm. That's a neat float also. Look at the work. Christy, that's you up there. Yeah. Wow, yeah, it's Christy. Right there.
Me, Mark, Frankie, Brian Reinhardt, and I can't remember who that is.
And what was it for, that?
It's for the grocery store.
Oh.
John and Carol Hickey.
Oh, okay.
This is the Bailey's Harbor, the Gibraltar ball team when they won state champions in 79? Yeah.
Who are some of the boys?
That's Dave Sequist, Paul Larson, Hans Lagerquist, Brent Hinsman, Tim Smith. I think that's probably Robert Larson, Bill Reamer, John Anderson, who now owns Beantown, and Jeff Paschke. And then Jeff's younger brother, I can't remember his name, and then Chief.
Oh, very good. One float we know all the names on. Very good. Bailey's Harbor Women's Club. Okay, who knows some of these ladies? Anyone? That's our Villa Seiler, yes. But that one I really don't know.
I think that's Claire Brand in the white shirt.
Okay, Claire Brand, okay.
For sure. And Ardilla Seiler, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I saw Elsie on there too, because Elsie was usually on our floats.
Okay. Elsie Tischler?
Elsie Tischler.
Okay.
Those I recognize.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that amazing? Is that the Bluffers? This is the Bluffers. Bluffers getting married this time, or?
Yeah, this was the election with Reagan and Jimmy Carter. And the first one on the left, that's, of course, that's Reagan. And that would be, and the next one was Mrs. Reagan, and that I believe is Becky. And then the one next over, I think she's improved a lot now. That's actually Kay, my sister-in-law there. But she'd had a bad hair day that day, I think. And that should be Kenny Muller, right? And next to that, that's Bob Link. and he was Carter. And then this is Wendy Link, and then next to that is Diane Link, which are both in the back there. Roslyn, yes, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, yeah, there we are. This is, in fact, I believe that's Pert in the Uncle Sam. And the other one, I believe, is Ben Schmidt, isn't it, Bill? Yeah, yeah. And they could just get a little glimpse on the right side. That was Reagan, and that was Bill Meyer. That's Sandy Muller's dad. Yes, that's Secret Service, yes. Oh, and here's a couple here. The lady with the kind of sexy outfit on, that's my wife, Mary Kay. And then the rich guy next to her that looks like kind of a Arab type of guy, he was the oil, yes, and he had all the money. And so he had his little dancing girl here. And that's Dick Hawker, sitting right over here next to Becky.
Speak to this one.
Okay. This was in 1984, and the Brand family, which was one of the early families in Bailey's Harbor, decided to have a reunion. Never had one before, haven't had one since. But cousins came from all around and decided they wanted to be in the parade. So everybody wore white bottoms and a red T-shirt that we had printed. And in the sitting on, or in and on that convertible, the lady who didn't think to look forward when she should have, that's my mom, Lenora Brand John. And the passenger in there is Walter Brand, and they were two children of August Brand, who was one of the owners of the Brand Brothers store in town. And then behind them are my generation and a few following generations, and they all thought up very clever little brand signs, like been raisin brands and, things like that. I can't remember them all. It was a fun day, though. Oh, yes, Brand, what it says, Brand Clan, 100 years of flakes in Door County. Yeah.
Just a minute, I want you to talk into the microphone. We can't hear you otherwise. Who's talking? Christy, sorry.
This is Lee Erickson, and he used to always bring a different steam engine every year, and it was just the coolest thing when you were a little kid, because he would, during the parade, he would blow the whistle, and it would practically blow you off the sidewalk. It was just always a real impressive.
Maybe we could talk. Trudy, can you speak to this?
Trudy.
I'm not
Trudy.
even recognizing that as being Lee.
Oh, don't.
Jeff Robinson, the orange.
Okay. Here, let's just hear you guys talk a minute. Okay, here.
That's Lee. He worked for Robus, and Robus had the steam engines. He'd always bring them up. I don't know.
Okay, okay.
You can probably tell us about this one.
Who is that? Oh, that's my mother. That was for the loving, what does it say? 1895. Hedwig and Otto just married. And that's when my mother, this must have been the year that she wrote The Loving Spice of Life, which was the story of my grandmother as a mail order bride coming to Door County. And in the back is my cousin Karen, my mother's niece, and she is wearing my great aunt's wedding dress that she wore in probably 1895 or whatever. But I wonder where those horses, came from. I don't know. Yeah, cute little ponies. Yacht Club float. Bailey's Harbor Yacht Club, right? Okay. Oh, Ken Johnson, yes. He was the caretaker out there, or head maintenance. Frogtown Junior, Frogtown Special. See, Francia, where you live? How, even then. And the Titans? Oh, and there's Bob Anderson, mayor of Frogtown. That's Betty Anderson's husband from the laundry.
And he'd suck his belly in and out. The 80s were a really weird time.
Great entertainment. Oh. What year would this have been, Christy? 1985, okay. Oh, sure. Wow. That guy, oh, that guy's got a chutzpah. Boy, that's a beautiful, who made that? I mean, that's a church. Which church? That was St. Mary's? Oh, really? Bailey's Harbor is nothing but a suburb of Frogtown. Oh, is that Bob? Oh, that is cute. Mm. I hope you still have that shirt, Betty. That's a good one. Hey, hey, what do you say? It's Freddie K. It's right at one, Sister Bay.
That's Darren Dobner.
Oh, sure. Oh, my gosh. Freddie. The chambermaids. Remember when they used to come? All male bands dressed in drag. Yep. Oh, look at
Yeah, I think they must have. Oh,
Oh, more bluff. Raising Cane on the Bluff. That was a pretty party-going crowd, I think, up there, weren't they? I have a hunch. No, I can see you didn't have any fun at all. How come you didn't invite the rest of the town? You had your own group, right? Ages. Old enough to have wrinkles and young enough to love rock and roll. Do you want to...
Identify these people?
No. Okay. Okay.
Let's see, I think, the one with the red hat, that's Dick Hawker. Let's see, yeah, that's Dick Hawker. Yeah, it looks like maybe Wendy Link off to the right of Dick there. I believe that's Wendy. People are, could you go back to the other one that you just had a minute ago? Because that was some of those, like, yeah, I think that's my brother Bob, Bill and mine's brother. No, the one on the right. And hit songs. That was Eric. Okay, the one next to it, and then this one over here would be, that's probably Ingrid, right? No, that's me. Oh, that's you. Oh, that me? Oh, okay, so that's the blonde and I'm the horny guy next to you there. Okay, yeah, okay. That was us, okay. And we were forming up on, Summit Road there. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. These, I don't know, do you recognize any of these other, Bill? Oh, okay. All right, that's Sandy Muller, and that's Kenny Muller. The next one over, I don't, okay, that's Mark. Yeah, that's her son, and I don't know, do you know the next one? I don't know who that would be either, but we were pretty much incognito. They couldn't pick us all out that way. That was our last big blast, I think, wasn't it? That was our last, that was the Bluff's last parade, yeah.
We want to, yeah. That's Who are these people? Does anybody recognize them? They look familiar. No? Yeah. Yeah, that's Gladys and Ard Bronowski. Oh, these are, and here's the puppet that we have here. And I think Carol Sills is here. Francia can tell us about that.
Okay, this was in the year 2000, and it was the children at the art school created Emma. It was the second year we made giant puppets. Cornelia McNamara was the maker with the children of the puppet. Do people here remember her? Yeah, good. Well, Jens was very old, and he was in the hospital, and it was the day before that he died. She went to see him with a picnic basket full of sweet peas, which he loved. And in the basket, she had a surprise. She put it on the bed, and he sort of opened one eye from his coma, and a tiny baby skunk jumped out onto his chest. And she got a great big smile out of Jens Jensen, which she was glad of. So when they made this puppet, they made a baby skunk. I don't see it here, but I remember she was supposedly carrying it, and she had sweet peas. So I still had the head in one hand of the puppet, and there she is over there. And I talked to Nellie, and Nellie said, sure, if the Bailey's Harbor wants her, that would be great. So here's to the memory of Emma Toft. Yeah, thanks.